Vaser amplifier ultrasonic contouring. The vaser amplifier emits pulsed or continuous modes of ultrasonic energy to emulsify fat. Let's see how to set up and test the amplifier for use. To set up for ultrasound application, ensure the vaser amplifier has power. If the vaser amplifier is used in conjunction with the Ventex console, all components are powered through the main power switch. If your facility uses the vaser amplifier only, connect the vaser amplifier to an AC power source and turn the power switch on. Also, ensure the vaser foot switch cord is connected to the vaser foot switch receptacle, as well as the vaser power cord connected to its respective power module on the Ventex console. Upon initial power on, the vaser amplifier should always default to a standby operating mode indicated by a flashing V and C. To place the amplifier into a working mode, toggle the mode switch to select either V or C, vaser or continuous mode, respectively. Next, you will need to test the vaser amplifier. It is very important to ensure the vaser amplifier and the vaser handpiece is working properly before the patient arrives. To test the amplifier, ensure that the vaser handpiece is not connected to the amplifier. Set the amplitude to 10%. Set the mode to C, continuous. Press and hold the vaser test switch for at least 5 seconds. You should hear an intermittent beeping and see the ultrasonic wave and a fault symbol illuminate on the amplifier. Release the vaser test switch and change the amplitude control to 30%. Again, press and hold the vaser test switch for at least 5 seconds. This time, you should not see or hear any warning indicators. The vaser amplifier is operational. If either part of the vaser test switch fails, call technical support. Now, test the vaser handpiece. Set the amplitude control to 70 to 80%. Pass the vaser handpiece connector out of the sterile field. Connect it to the receptacle on the vaser amplifier. The vaser probe should already be attached to the vaser handpiece. In the sterile field, completely immerse the tip of the probe into a cup of sterile water. Depress the vaser foot switch. If the handpiece is working properly, you should hear a high-pitched sound and see bubbling in the water. You should not see or hear any fault warnings. If the bubbling is weak or non-existent, check that the amplitude is at 70 to 80%. If the system faults or doesn't do anything, the vaser handpiece may be damaged. Additionally, check the probe alignment. If the probe is not tightened or aligned correctly, you will usually hear a chattering sound when the ultrasound is activated. If this occurs, disassemble the probe, realign, tighten, and retest. If you continue to experience issues, contact technical support. Prior to performing actual contouring, skin ports must be inserted to protect the incisions from ultrasonic energy. If using the skin port discs, they should be attached with sutures anchored in at least 3 points. If using the skin port corkscrews, they should be inserted with the gold skin port insertion tool. Folded towels should be used to protect the skin from contact with the vibrating probe. Outside of an aqueous medium, the probe can generate frictional heat and could burn the skin if pressed into the skin. To initiate ultrasonic contouring, the foot switch must be depressed to activate ultrasonic vibration. The ultrasound foot switch is wireless, activated via infrared. However, the system comes with corded foot switches as well for backup. During the procedure, the physician may request several adjustments to the vaser amplifier. At the physician's request, toggle between continuous mode and pulsed mode, also known as vaser mode. When not in use, the vaser amplifier should be placed on standby mode for prevention of accidental activation. To initiate standby mode, press and hold the mode selection button for 3 seconds. Standby mode is indicated by a flashing V and C on the display panel. Adjust the vibration amplitude, which is the percentage of power being used, by turning the amplitude control knob on the Vaser amplifier. The Vaser timer displays the total time of ultrasonic vibration activation. You can easily record the activation time for each area of the body by noting the accumulated time and then pressing the timer reset button to return the timer to 0. Time is one indication of how long the surgeon should apply ultrasound. The point at which the surgeon no longer feels any resistance is another. Throughout the procedure, attach and detach Vaser probes as needed. In general, for a given diameter, probes with more grooves or rings fragment tissue more efficiently, but do not penetrate fibrous tissues as easily. For comparison purposes, a 3-ring 3.7 mm probe distributes approximately 70% of its energy from the sides and 30% from the front surface. A 2-ring 3.7 mm probe distributes approximately 50% of its energy from the sides and 50% from the front surface. A 1-ring 3.7 mm probe distributes approximately 30% of its energy from the sides and 70% from the front surface. The circulator, or the person in charge of operating the system, should note ultrasound activation time, probe type, mode setting, and amplitude for each treatment area. This assists the surgeon with dictation, helps reproduce consistently optimal results, and aids troubleshooting for unexpected outcomes. If something is preventing ultrasound activation, such as a broken handpiece or torquing the probe, the Vaser amplifier will automatically fault for safety. A flashing red triangle will appear on the display and an alarm will sound. For this or other troubleshooting issues, check the quick guide or review the user guide. You can also contact Sound Surgical Technical Support at the number printed on the system.